Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be reviewing GSOR the tank. This is a Tier 10 British collector heavy, and it was just released in part of the new snow globe type event that Wargaming has for the Blitz Fair. Now, unfortunately, this year it was a lot more expensive to get my hands on this vehicle than it was last year, and that is because Wargaming has taken snow globes out of the game and replaced them with music boxes. Music boxes have a 4% drop chance to give you a tank, and there's like 10 vehicles in total that you can get. The problem is, you have to basically hope that you get the GSOR out of those 10 tanks, and it's only guaranteed to get the GSOR after you get the other 10 vehicles, because that's the way the crates basically work. So it cost me $500 to get my hands on this vehicle. 500 US dollars, which is a lot of money. Thankfully, the only reason I actually kept going is because I got a bunch of gold. 342,000 gold is enough to last me probably till next year. So that's the good news. I got plenty of gold to buy whatever bundles I need. You know, whenever the Black Friday event or the auctions come out soon here, I should be able to afford whatever tanks Wargaming releases. That's nice. But it is still a real bummer just how much money it costs to get your hands on this tank. With that being said, is it a good vehicle, and is this something you should be scared of? Let's start off with the gun. What is going on? Well, with calibrated shells, you're sitting at 3,262 effective damage per minute, which makes this the highest damage per minute heavy tank in Tier 10. The only other heavy that has similar DPM would be something like a T95E6, and this vehicle has 3,082 DPM when running calibrated shells. So, yeah, we are looking at about 200 more damage per minute than the next highest, which is the T95E6. That is pretty dang crazy. Not only does this vehicle feature incredibly dangerous DPM, it also has really good accuracy, 0.27 with calibrated shells. Its aiming time is very good. In general, this gun is way more accurate than the E6s. I can tell you that just from driving it already. The vehicle features 12 degrees of gun depression. Yes, you heard that correct. 12 degrees of gun depression. It also has 2,500 hit points and a top speed of 40 with a power to weight ratio of 19, which makes it very mobile. And not only that, but it reverses at 20, which means it reverses 5 kilometers per hour faster than the E6. Overall, this tank is insane. That's really all I need to say. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, this thing must have 0 armor to make up for all of those stats, right? Wrong. It actually has pretty good armor. Now, the upper plate is useless. It's only about 200 millimeters on the upper plate. The lower plate's only about 119, so it's got really bad armor on the hull. But look at the turret. Remember, this thing has 12 degrees of gun depression. On flat ground at 270 mils a pen, the lower half of the turret's over 372, so you're not going to pen that. The upper half of the turret is spaced, so you're also going to have a hard time penning that. In general, it's got spaced armor all around it, and you can see when using gun depression, it is really hard to cut through. And you might say, okay, well, what does it look like loading gold? This is what it looks like against 367 mils of gold pen. Yeah, the turret is still incredibly troll because it has spaced armor. It has to go through, this is the first points of entry there, it has to go through that first point of entry, and then it hits the primary armor behind it, and that's why it is such a troll turret. The actual weak point of this vehicle is the gun. I would aim directly at the gun, because it's only about 210 thick. That seems to be the easiest point to penetrate this vehicle. But in general, the armor is insane. Like, for what this tank is, and how much gun depression, how much mobility and DPM it has, the fact that it also features this much armor when hull down is pretty dang crazy. Again, this is what it looks like against heat. It's pretty ridiculous. I think most of you can agree. So with that being said, let's now take a look at some of the gameplay that this vehicle was able to have and how it performs. So you can see we got some games lined up here. And yeah, these were just battles I played while live streaming the tank. My personal thoughts on this vehicle is it is probably the most overpowered tank Wargaming has released into the game in a very long time. And I know that there's always people that are like, oh, Droodles, you're just saying everything's OP now. But just watch it play. I mean, I'm averaging over 4,000 damage in this vehicle for the 10 or 15 games I played on it during live stream. And the tank is just ridiculous. I mean, first of all, you can see the mobility on it. It's fast. We're chilling at 40 kilometers per hour here. I would argue that this thing is just as fast as a Strids Von K or even an E6 in terms of acceleration and power to weight. It's only the top speed that's a little bit worse. So we get a nice shot into the enemy Sheridan for 319 damage. It's a pretty good start. Now we're going to move up a little bit. and we're going to get hull down here. Remember, this thing is 12 degrees of gun depression, so I can basically work any ridgeline in the game. This is the most gun depression in Blitz. on tier 10. So basically there's no position this thing can't work, and you can outposition any other vehicle. So we got the 268, get a nice pen into them for 650 damage, and this thing reloads so fast that we're able to get another shot into the 268. Something else I forgot to mention is this vehicle features Hesh. It has 108 mils of Hesh pen with 400 damage. That's pretty dangerous. That means if you get to the side or even lower plate of weaker vehicles, you can go right through them. Now we can see there, the VK72 does pen me, and we do only trade them back for a little bit, right? But here's the thing. Now we get another shot into that VK. So let's see the damage that we trade here, right? This VK72 is going to shoot me for... Oh, he's going to miss. Okay, so the VK misses. I shoot him once, and because this thing reloads so fast, I get a second pen. That's 640 health we just took off that VK72. You only have a 5-second reload with this thing when using adrenaline activated. So we get the VK shot again. That's 254. The VK misses, and again, we reload so fast that, boom, we slam another shell for 294. That's another almost 600 health we've taken off that player. Now we're dealt 2,731. Yeah, oh boy, we're up to 2,700 damage, and now I'm going to cross. I'm a little worried about TDs in the back, but looks like I don't have to worry too much because we don't get shot. Okay, I'm going to move up. We got the VK72, we got the Type 5. Alright, let's see if we can get a shell into the VK. Boom. 308 damage into that player, placing us over 3,000. Look at how quick this thing reloads. We get a bounce from the VK because, again, this thing has armor. And now we reload again. The VK's obviously out of the game at this point. Got a pen right into their weak point. Now we got the Type 5 Heavy over here. And we're just going to move. We're going to move. Oh, we got the 4005. There you go. Nice shot into the 4005. And now we're going to roll around the corner, aiming on the Type 5. Loaded gold shell. There's 230 damage. Can we get another pen into the Type 5? 3, 2, 1. Boom. Another 240 damage shell into the Type 5 Heavy. Reloading. 3, 2, 1. And boom. Another shot. 4,500 damage in this game. 4,500 damage. We didn't even break a sweat. It was the easiest farm ever. We got hull down, we bullied everything in front of us, and we aced the tank pretty easily. So yeah, pretty solid stuff in that first game. I think you can already understand why the GSOR is so dumb. So now I'm in Platoon with a Lego, because he wanted to do a tune. He also bought the vehicle. So what are we going to do here? Well, we are going to move up to the front line. And again, Normandy is an amazing map, right? Normandy is a map that requires gun depression to do well. So I'm going to move as fast as I can to get hull down here. We got the enemy Murat. I shoot. Doesn't really matter. By the way, look at how fast this thing is. And this is really where the gun depression starts to be OP. Now, you'll notice if you're not fully aimed in, the gun can be a little derpy, but it doesn't really matter. Once you are aimed in, this gun is a laser beam. And we get a bounce from the 60 again. Armor on this thing does work, so we get a bounce from the 60. We pen the 60 in return. That's 600 damage now dealt to the 60 TP. Look at the gun depression, dude. I actually penned the minnow at that angle. That is ridiculous. So I can't shoot the minnow. Alright, that's fine. I'll just drive over the ridge, and the Murat can't do anything to me. There you go. My tune mate shoots the Murat. We both low roll, but we still pen. I get a nice shell into the Hori. Boom. 350. You can see that this gun is very, very accurate. Look at this gun depression here. 12 degrees. I can just fully poke the 60 TP hull down. He can't pen me. E100 drives to the side. I don't know what the hell this E100's doing, but I load a gold shell. We get a nice pen. Unlike the Stridsvon K, this vehicle does not have bad penetration on its premium. And to be fair, the Stridsvon did get a pen buff, but like, why would you ever drive a Stridsvon K when this thing exists? So now we drive over, we get a pen into lower plate of the minnow, 2,800 damage now. The tune mate I have shoots the 60 TP. I shoot, oh dang, my gun trolls me there. That's fine though. My tune mate bounces the Murat, and there you go. There's our first Hesh shell, dealing 417 damage. As I said, this thing does a really nice Hesh, and there you go, another Hesh shell, boom, killing the minnow for 475 damage. Not enough Hesh for you? Let's aim it on the rear of the enemy Atlas, boom, 365 Hesh. Yeah, we just did 1,200 damage in 3 shots. That puts us up to 4,000 damage dealt now. We're going to move up. We have the Chieftain Mark 6 over here. We got the Hori, okay. See if we can get a little bit of damage into the enemy Chieftain. I really thought that I could Hesh pen the lower plate of the Chieftain, and I guess I couldn't because I tried to pen him and I don't get the pen out. So unfortunately, we don't pen that first shot, but that's okay. We'll just pen the engine deck of the Chieftain for 300. We got the Hori over there, and I'm hoping, can I Hesh pen the Hori? It's like a 50-50. Dang, we don't Hesh pen it. Got a little bit greedy there, but you know what? It's fine. We still out-reload everything else. So I'm just going to turn my turret, get the clearance of the enemy Chieftain, and just like that, 4,746. This thing is stupid, dude. It's so stupid. The fact that I can just get hull down, do whatever the hell I want, and bully everything in front of me. There you go, 4,840 damage. Places us top on the team. Again, not really a sweat broken. Here's another 2 minute and 38 second game. Let's see how much damage I can deal in 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Well, first of all, what do we have up against us? Mouse, Kampfpanzer, E5, E3, and a 57 heavy. So they got a lot of tanks. We're going to start by moving right into the spot here, and I'm going to poke it. Let's see, is the 57 heavy going to drive out? They do. However, they do manage to hit me back, but that's fine. 57 heavy shoots once. My 4005 pokes, the 57 heavy shoots twice. I get another pen, and the 57 heavy shoots 3 times. Now that player's out of shells. I'm going to aim it on their turret, and bruh. That right there is what happens when Wargaming buffs the armor on the 57 heavy. But it's fine, I'll just load a gold shell, and boom. Alright, 57 heavy is taken out of the game. Now we have the E5, who I'm going to aim it on the lower plate of. Boom. There you go. 340 damage. And I'm going to let my 4005 shoot him. I'm going to poke him now. Boom. 310 damage. And my 4005 gets the clear. So we're up to 1,200 damage so far, which is pretty good. Now we're going to move. And, oh, Tume gets shot pretty hard there. Didn't think that E3 was going to hit him. But hey, look at that. 500 damage fire. We're going to aim it on the rear of the Kampfpanzer because this thing is Hesh. Boom. There you go. HE him. 2,300 damage dealt now. And look at this. I mean, what's this E3 going to do? We're on his rear, so we're obviously HEing him. 450 damage with the first shot. This is over 4,200 DPM we've got going into this guy. There's another 390 damage into the enemy E3. Reloading again. 3, 2, 1. Boom. 370 damage into the E3. Reloading again. 3, 2, 1. Boom. 468 damage. My toonmate gets the clear into the E3. We're up to 4,000 damage in this game. Not able to get any damage over there, but we're going to cross over towards the medium side. We have the enemy T100 in front, and I'm going to drive right over. We're going to load a high explosive. Also, you know what's really funny? That enemy Kampfpanzer types pay to win in chat. I always find it pretty hilarious when you have players in freaking premiums typing pay to win. Like, bruh, you are in a premium tank. What are we talking about? Either way, we're going to move over here. We have the enemy Leopard, and again, this thing is Hesh, so I'm just going to load HE on the Leopard and shoot him in the lower plate for 408 damage. There you go. 4,814 damage dealt, 2 kills. This was a 2 minute and 30 second game. Just think about that for a second. In 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I farmed almost 5,000 damage. What the hell, dude? Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Okay, well, we're not done. We still got 2 more games to showcase. Here we are on Oasis Palms. I played this battle alone because Lego had to go use the bathroom, so I said, alright, I'll play a game solo. So we start by going over to the medium side, which is pretty obvious. And we got our first shot into the enemy E50 when they overpoke. Now, you're about to watch where this vehicle is, it's insane. So, we have a Rhino up against us, right? We can see that on an enemy team. Now, the Rhino features 2,300 DPM, which is dangerous, but the thing is, the Rhino is not nearly as dangerous as this tank. So, we're going to poke the Rhino. We get a pen into their tank. They shoot me back, right? So, we trade. I only roll a little bit less, and I'm going to shoot the Rhino again. So, just like that, the Rhino and I have traded. I've done 9, or maybe like 700 damage to the Rhino, and he's done 800-ish damage to me. But here's the thing. I can now shoot 2 shells for every 1 shell that Rhino fires. Think about that. Actually, I can shoot 3 shells for every 1 shell that Rhino fires. So sure, he pens me 3 times, takes 1,200 health off my tank, but in return, he's dead. Full health Rhino's out of the game, just like that. And that player also got pretty lucky that they penned all of their shots on me. Imagine if they'd bounced 1 shell, just even 1, I would have still had 1,600 health and they would have just been screwed. So we get a gold shell into the enemy Ag Tiger. That's 2,300 damage already dealt in 1 minute and 30 seconds. Not able to hit the Ag Tiger anymore because they back up. Okay, we got the 777. My 30B's pushing up. The only reason I didn't want to poke here is because I was worried there was a 183 in the back. And look at that. Indeed, there is a 183. So I poke. I get a pen into the 183, but now we have an E50 on us. The funny thing is I out-DPM the C50. Even with Adrenaline active, I still out-DPM the C50. So we get 1 pen into their tank. That's 350 damage. And I'm going to reload again. 3, 2, 1. Okay, well, we have the shell, but I can't shoot the E50 because they're backing up. But that's fine. Boom. Really. 289 from a 320. That's pretty trash. But we're up to 3,360 damage so far. We got 2 tanks left, the Ag Tiger and the 183. I know where the 183 is, but I also know that my E50 is playing really aggressive here, so if the 183 is going to shoot at anybody, you'd probably be the E50. We're going to aim it on the Ag Tiger, and boom. Okay. That's bad RNG there. That's really bad RNG. Alright, well, let's load a gold shell. Boom. There you go. Nice 280 into the Ag Tiger. And reloading again. Boom. Alright, Yag Tiger's taken out of the game. 3,700 damage. We have an enemy 183. There's 337 damage. Let's reload again. 3, 2, 1. There's 307 again. 3, 2, 1. Bonk. 334. 4,675 damage. This game is 2 minutes and 40 seconds or something like that. It is insane. This thing is insane. I don't know what else to say. I mean, you guys are watching the gameplay here. This is easily one of the most overpowered tier 10s that Wargaming has ever released. That brings us to the final battle to showcase on Castilla. And obviously, once again, Castilla is going to be just an easy game. Every game in this thing is easy. So here we are. This is the last game I played on stream. Lego and I are once again platooning. So I'm going to head over to the medium side, climbing up the hill, and we have finally now made it over to the medium flank. What's funny is I was only a little bit slower than my 30B getting in the position. And you're going to notice that even the enemy mediums, they just step into base A now. So I'm going to move up, and I got plenty of gun depression to work this position. So we get one pen into the 54E1. There you go, we get a bounce. I'm going to aim it on the 54E1's track wheel. We get a pen. I back up a little bit. And 3, 2, 1. Boom. 54E1's taken out of the game. 3 shots, 889 damage. Oh no, the IS-4 drove over and shot me for 371. Too bad I hit him back for 310. And too bad the IS-4 has 700 less DPM than me, so I shoot him back for another 300 damage. So the IS-4 has already lost this trade. Then he gets shot by my 2-mate in the GSOR. Then he gets shot by me in the GSOR. Then I'm going to reload again. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. And boom. Nice shot into the IS-4's lower plate. There, 384 mils of heat pen bounce off my vehicle. I reload again. Get another shot into the IS-4. We're already up to 2,400 damage. And I'm going to reload again. IS-4 bounces me again. I bounce the IS-4, but I don't care. I out-reload the IS-4 anyway. So I'll just drive over the ridge, load a gold shell, shoot him in the turret, take him out of the game. Then I told my 2-mate, let's just drive over and kill the 57 Heavy. What's he going to do to us? There's one easy pen into the 57 Heavy. My 2-mate gets a pen into the 57. I'm going to reload, and 3, 2, 1. Boom. 57 Heavy's taken out of the game. Now we're going to move up and try and deal with the Ho-Ri. Now, the Ho-Ri shot me. I skipped past it, but he shot me, so I know he's at the middle of the map here. So I'm going to move up towards mid, and we're going to see if I can bleed out this Ho-Ri. So there's a nice 400 max roll into that player. We're going to reload. 3, 2, 1, and let's aim it on the Ho-Ri's lower plate. Boom. 193 damage. The funny part is I don't even care. I'll still out DPM this Ho-Ri. So we get another shot, 215. Backing up. 3, 2, 1, and boom. Ho-Ri's out of the game. 4,000 damage dealt now. Let's see. We have the Badger on the side over here. So I'm going to try and get a shell or two into the Badger. They're backing up, so here we go. Boom. There's one shot for 330 damage into the Badger. We reload again. 3, 2, 1. Boom. There's a second shell into the Badger. 4,800 damage dealt. And we don't deal any more damage. But again, it's brain dead. This is the dumbest tank I've ever seen. It is actually the dumbest thing I've ever seen. They took an E6, they gave it more DPM, 12 degrees of gun depression, and still gave it crazy good mobility and reverse speed too. I mean, the thing is crazy. We can see that in the GSOR, I have played 11 games. I'm averaging 4,000 damage. I've only lost one battle. This tank is crazy. I can tell you that it is easily one of the most overpowered tanks in tier 10. Like, this thing is ridiculous. It's a shame that the only way to get it is to gamble hundreds of dollars. But I do assume that at some point it will come out cheaper. So I guess you'll just have to wait. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you think about this thing in the comments, but it's a little ridiculous. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.